Ashley and Lisa. I'm Ashley.
I'm Lisa. It is Thursday, May 21st. It's my anniversary.
Oh.
32 lovely years.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Another day.
Yeah.
We made it this far, so it's just another day. So, what's new?
We've been busy. We had a nice Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Went out. We tried a new place actually. It was nice.
Where'd you go?
The Public House in Jared. It's over in DuBois. It's super small. There's just 2 little rooms in there, but the food was really good.
Where is it in DuBois?
It's behind. Do you know where Life's Journey used to be? In that building, between the road that goes from the Sketchy Sheets to Palumbo's.
Oh yeah.
It's 1 or 2 blocks that way.
Okay.
Closer to where the hump bridge is.
I know where you mean. I know where the medicine shop used to be. In that area.
Yep. So it's
down from WTAJ.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So it was there. It was really good. It's actually owned by one of the guys that I used to work with. He was a nurse in the ER. So I've been wanting to go, but we went out because we went to 7 Brew for Mother's Day.
There you go.
So we were up early and went out there, and then we went and got some plants.
My grandson got dedicated at church that day.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. It was kind of nice. It was on Mother's Day. So they did his dedication. And then we just had a picnic at my daughter's house because there was a huge group, 50 people. So we're not, my parents, all my, my daughter and her kids and my in-law, my son-in-law's family, and he has a pretty big family. So it was my brother and my nieces and sister-in-law, everybody came. So it was nice.
Nice.
So we were all together, but we just did a picnic. Everybody brought something, and my son-in-law made hot dogs and hamburgers, and ended up being a nice day.
Yeah, it has been. The weather's been really nice. Although I would have liked a little ease into this 90-degree weather.
Ooh.
It was, raining and snowing last week, and now it's 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm. And now it's humid, a little bit humid.
Yeah. My office, we're in the ground floor, but also half of it's underground. So I joked the other day, I'm my office turns into a basement.
Mm-hmm.
The creepy crawlies come out this time of year, and then it gets really humid.
I have a really good bug guy, if they're looking.
Yeah.
He's reasonable, and we just called him yesterday because I have those little tiny ants in the kitchen.
Yes.
And I think it's just when it rains a lot, they come in. I don't have food.
And because we have we're in the middle of a farm field, so yeah, we usually get little ants and things too this time of the year. But that's what happens when you
I'll take bugs over snakes any day.
Oh, we had a snake the other day.
At your house?
Yeah, we were going and burning boxes, so we'll just throw all our boxes in the basement and then burn them. And we had some brush and stuff that had fallen down. So my husband and son, I went inside to open the inside door, and they were opening the Bilco door, and the snake went behind. There's a piece of insulation on the Bilco door, and my husband and son were freaking out. Mm-hmm. It was kind of funny. I just closed the door, and I'm locked up around, and next thing I know, our neighbor's flying up our driveway because
Robert called him.
Yeah, Robert told him it was in our house. I'm I don't consider this in our house, but okay. So
did he remove it?
He removed it. He put it into out into the field. So it's probably back, but it wasn't there when we were trying to burn boxes.
That's okay. Yeah, we live in the middle of fields.
Mm-hmm.
And
at least they're not in our house like yours was.
I stepped on a snake in my house. Gross. We have a bear. Our garbage is in our garage, so but my daughter's house is through the field from ours, and they have their garbage cans on their back porch. So they've been waking up with their garbage can in the middle of the yard, and the garbage,
spread
everywhere. So we're gonna have to build a shed or something to put the garbage cans in because because I really don't want the bear attracted because that's where the grandkids live.
Yeah.
I don't want them.
Don't want them to get too close.
No. And it comes up on their patio, right to their garbage cans are right outside their back door. Yeah. And that's the door we use to come and go. And right up there. Yeah. But it was I don't know, my son-in-law got home from work at 1 a.m. and then he's a state trooper. So he doesn't always get home on time depending on what's going on. And then sometimes he has to be back at work in a few hours, and it was one of those nights. Mm-hmm. He got home at 1 a.m., had to be back at work at 6 a.m., which means he leaves around 5. Yeah. So there was a window of 4 hours It's like, I can't believe I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So, and luckily they haven't been hearing it, because that would probably set the kids
Oh yeah,
through the
definitely.
roof. So,
Yeah.
anyhow, you're not wearing anything knit.
I am not today.
I am wearing my Tia
Yes.
sweater. It has a little bit of lace, just like one little section of lace here. The yarn is Dusty Tree, my friend Rebecca. It is her hand dyed. It was a sock set. Well, I bought 2 sock sets. So this, the brown with the speckled is what you would use for the main color. These were the heel toe cuff, like the minis.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did like the hem in the minis, the neck in the minis, and I did have to break into the second mini, which I didn't think I would, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have quite a bit left over, so I might make like a shorty pair of socks or do something.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But it was a fun knit. It was pretty quick.
So yeah, because you were like just in the lace.
Yeah.
I think last time.
But I wore it to the show last weekend. I was at the Central PA Fiber Festival in Hughesville. 2-day, lots of vendors. It was two barns, and then a few people outside. They had some food trucks. It was a really nice day, really nice show.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Do you have any FOs?
I do not.
I have a few.
I say I've been slow.
I have a few. Well, this is my first one.
Yay.
I spun this. So I think I talked last time. I got a Daedalus e-spinner. Friend of mine picked it up in Maryland for me. I wasn't able to go, but so I spun this. I ordered this from Spun Right Round, maybe. And what it was 2 bags of like little nests of color. And I think there were 10 little nests in each bag. And so I ordered 2. They were identical. So the 2 bags were identical. So what I did was I spun the first bag pretty much end to end.
Mm-hmm.
The second bag, I went through and split them and spun those, like the top 10 and then the bottom 10. I didn't want the colors matching.
So kind of like a fractal.
Kind of. I guess I don't quite understand all the terms, but yeah. So I broke up the second one into 20 bits,
mm-hmm.
layered them 10 and 10, and then spun those, and then I plied it. So my hope was to make socks. I think that was a lofty goal for my first spin.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a little bit of practice to get it thin and consistent.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm very, very pleased.
Yeah, no, it looks really good.
With my first spin on my e-wheel. So, I think we were just looking before we turned on the camera. We were looking at patterns, and I think I'm going to make the pressed flowers vest with this. I just need to figure out what contrast color I want, because there's I think it's mosaic. So you're like knitting, slipping, certain rows. So I think I'll use this as my contrast, and then I'll need a main color. Probably navy or gray or a really dark green.
Maybe, yeah.
I want something with pretty high contrast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I'll have to figure out what yarn I'll do it in. I'm thinking Patagonia. That's kind of my go-to. Either that or Aegean tweed.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 go-tos. So other FOs. This isn't by me. This is by my mom. But I have a lot of baby knitting to do. So this is the Elizabeth Zimmerman Baby Surprise Jacket. And it's kind of one of those, you just have to trust the process. From what I read, I'm making one now too, which I'll show you in FOs. But you just kind of keep going, and then at the very end, you kind of flip it, and the seam is up here. It's an old pattern that I believe is now out of print, or I don't know where you get it. My mom had a copy, so she gave me a copy. But this is the baby surprise jacket.
That's cute.
And then I knit this little sweater.
Oh,
isn't it cute?
That is. Look at the little ruffle scallop on the bottom.
Yep, it's all well, I don't think it's on the neck, but it is on the sleeves. And the sleeves weren't as pronounced because they're littler.
Yeah, there's only a couple of rows.
Yeah, but I thought it turned out darling.
Yes.
And I think it'll be a good sweater that you could get lots of wear out of. Mm-hmm. The pattern said to make long sleeves, and I just felt that I didn't want that for a baby.
Yeah, I honestly thought about, because the sweater I want to make, I think I'm gonna make the one I made Ethan, the tin can knits one,
Yeah,
the flax.
the flax.
And I thought about making it long or short sleeve, but making the body longer, so it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like a dress at
Dress.
first, and then you can wear it like
Like a
longer.
tunic or like
Yeah.
leggings or so that's baby sweater number 2. So I have 2 more to make. And then my last FO just needs the ends woven in is the Mill City shawl. This is my I have a hard time finding
I
the
think
right
that's the right side.
yeah. Um this is going to be June's kit, which I have most of them ready. The yarn's just drying. So I dyed this. This yarn, it's a tweed yarn. It's the has the little tweedy bits in it, or as my friend calls it, mouse poop. Said it looks like it has mouse poop. Um, and this yarn, I called it Old Glory. I did this, and this yarn is kind of a grayer base. So when you dye it, it's kind of looks darker. But then I did do the same colors on my regular sock base, and I called it Rocket Pop because it really was like red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
But I like both of them. And for the June box, the June shawl, you can pick which one you want. If you want Old Glory or if you would rather have Rocket Pop. But I think it's going to be a good summer scarf.
Yeah.
You know, I can picture with like a denim jacket and like an evening, like watching the fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
And then with it being the 250, I think you'll have lots of places to wear this.
Yes.
This year. So, and I wanted to get it, I'm trying to get it out earlier in May. So if people want it for the 4th, then they can have it.
Yeah.
So it didn't take that long, a week or so. It's kind of a pretty repeatable once you know what you're doing. There's 4 different sections and it's mostly knitting. There's a few like garter that you're knitting or rib that you're knitting and purling, but it's not bad. It was pretty TV knitting. So, yeah. I think that's all my FOs. Yes. So whips.
I have 3.
I really only have 1.
Okay.
I really only have 1 I'm going to talk about.
This was one I started. So my goal has been to go through my stash, and this is something that I got who knows how long ago. It is a yarn inspiration pattern. It's called Jessica's Crochet Bunny. So I just had like a Karen cake sitting around that who knows how long it's been there. So this is the start of the blanket. It's gonna be like a little lovey, so it's just like a granny stitch. I'm getting into some more colors here. And then this will be the bunny's head and one ear, and then I'm gonna two at the end to get kind of some of the other colors, so it's probably going to be very similar looking if I did both of them. So I'll weigh this to see how much this is 1 ear. I'll weigh it to see how much it is, and then stop roughly whenever I'm there, and then that'll be the head. We'll
Cute.
Stuff it, and I don't know if we'll keep it for mine or pass it on since it's kind of.
Did you tell them you're expecting? Have we?
I think we kind of mentioned it, yes, last one, but
I'm just having a baby.
yes, I'm expecting in
I wasn't
August.
sure. I didn't want to say anything.
Yes, so in August. So we're getting there. I hit the hot part of the year now, and it's could have added some nice easing into it, but yes. So this has been just kind of an easy take along. It's a crochet. Just trying to use up some other stuff that I have. But
probably through remodeling, because they're remodeling a little bit, you know, to make room for the new one. I bet you're finding a lot of stuff.
Oh yes, yeah. We're gonna do part of the yard sale.
Are you doing it up at your in-laws?
Yeah, we're gonna do it at my in-laws. And it's gonna be like, fill a bag for $1 or $2 because I have so many clothes, and we didn't find out what my son was, so we have a lot of like smaller stuff is gender neutral. So like I feel like we can keep a lot of that, but other stuff I'm like, yeah, I'm just ready to get rid of. So, but that was my first.
That's exciting. How many more do you have?
I have 2 more.
Whips. Keep going.
Okay.
Because I only have 1.
My second one I showed last time. That was kind of is my baby socks.
So
they're gonna
for
be
the baby.
Yes, for the baby. So these are gonna be It's loosely based off of Fit a Long Time socks, which the idea is it's all like this kind of twisted rib, so there's no heel. So the thought is you can kind of wear it until, however long. So they're, mid calf or like mid calf to knee socks. And then as they grow, that they will kind of fit longer than just making a sock that's only going to fit for a month or two.
Cute.
So I really like this. I want to get them done, but I just don't like Magic Loop. And so I feel like that's making me not want to work
And
on it.
you won't work. It won't fit on 9-inch circulars.
No, because it's only
It's
like
too
50
small.
stitches. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's been that. I got maybe an inch since we showed you last. So I'm trying to take it around with me, and that way I'm kind of forced to work on it. But
So mine is, like I alluded to a little bit ago, I'm doing another baby surprise. It's like the pink and purple one, but I'm trying to use my gradient. This was one I hand dyed, and I'm just barely getting into the pink. You can kind of see there. It's just like starting, but I think it'll be really cute. And I think from the pattern, this is one of those ones you don't break the yarn. So I think I will be able to like fade it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of long repeat. So even if I did have to break the yarn and like do a little sleeve, it should be close enough. But I don't think you do.
Yeah, it almost looks like one of those like the granny swear ones.
Yes. That you end up like folding it somehow. Maybe like this would be the sleeve. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. My mom has made many of them for baby gifts, and like I kind of want to try that. So I'm doing it, and I really wanted to use this gradient. Yeah. So I think it'll be cute, and I have cute little sheepy buttons out there it's gonna get. So I think that'll be really cute.
Yes. My last one was again just a yarn that I've had, and it was kind of sitting beside where I sit on the couch. So this is from Sweater Weather Fibers. It is a non-superwash Kent Romney base, which was kind of a different base. What it was is it's not necessarily made to be an assigned polling, but on the hank, like one spot on the top and one spot on the bottom is where the color is. So they're pretty short repeats. I had tried another pattern and I didn't like how it was working up, so that's why it had kind of been sitting there. So I kind of am doing this assigned polling almost shawl. So basically it's just stockinette, and whenever you get to those colors, you
Do the opposite.
do the opposite. I have added in a couple, you can kind of see here.
Like drop
Here,
stitches, like a yarn over
so
that you
like yeah,
drop.
like yarn overs. Just to do a lot of it was because I had this big section here that was all like it was on the ends, just how the numbers were working out. I had a couple patterns in mind that I tried to use, but since it's not really a specific assigned polling, there's only like 7 to 9 stitches that are colored. So it wasn't big enough to do the repeat that was called for in that pattern. But I have two of these. They're DK, so there's probably like 200 yards or so on there. And I'm using a US 8 for these.
I know we're so bad about needles and stuff.
Yes.
Like we both prefer the Addy.
Yes.
So Addy Click.
Addy or Chagu.
Yeah. And I'm using on the baby sweater a size 4 needle. And the pattern for this one, like you can use different weights of yarn and they just tell you what size needle to use.
Yeah.
So I'm using fingering yarn, so I use the smallest size needle.
Yeah, so this is just something I've been kind of on the couch beside where I sit, and I can do it pretty mindlessly because I've just not really had much that I wanted to work on. So
I've been spinning at night. That's what I've been like. I kind of don't. I don't know. I go home and spin. That's like my reward for making it through the day.
I told Lisa before we started, I said, I just looked at my spinner. I'm like, I really want to start, but how I used to sit on the couch, I'm not comfortable to sit there because I used to sit like Chris, and I'd put this spinner, I have like one of those lap desks. I'd set that on the like the leg part of the recliner, and now I just can't sit like that for very long. Yeah. So I need to find somewhere that I have.
Need a comfy chair and like a TV tray or something.
So.
Oh, your whips?
Yes, that's
mine. Okay. I have a few acquisitions, not many, but a few. So when I was in Frederick, this lady was my neighbor at the next booth, and she makes these
Mm,
little plates, but they're magnetic.
that's really nice.
I know, and I didn't buy one. And I was at home sewing. I was
Yeah.
making memory bears, and there's a ton of pins in memory bears, and I was like,
Mm.
oh, I wish I would have got one of those. So she was at Central PA, and I was like, yep. I think I'm going to try to make them.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to try to make some because they're really cute. They'd even make really good gifts for like
they
knitter
would.
friends. So I might thrift,
Yeah,
like Goodwill,
little like
because it could be a saucer.
saucers. Yeah.
It could honestly even be a teacup
Mm-hmm.
that you.
Especially, I feel like maybe I don't know, pins would be difficult in like a teacup because
Right, you'd end up
grabbing
jabbing
in.
yourself. But yeah,
But
this.
I've
And
even seen them like wooden ones. I know there's someone just posted a threaded maple one, but I can only imagine how expensive that is.
right, and this was 18,
That's
which
not bad. No.
not terrible, but if I thrift stuff, I could probably make them really cheap.
Mm-hmm. And it is nice because how many of those are in your couch cushions?
Correct. Correct. And you're always like digging through a bag for one. So if there
Mm-hmm.
was just like, beside you, you could just throw stuff on.
Yeah.
And then I was gifted from Blossburg. Tanya McNamara owns Blossburg. And I was looking at these, and then I walk back, and there sits one on my chair. I was like, thank you. So this is called saltwater socks.
Oh.
And they're mostly like color work socks, and she was running a special on these at the show, but I just thought it was a really cute book, and I love socks.
Yeah.
And
There's
I love
some
books.
hats,
Oh, there's
too.
hats. Caribou
That's cute.
migration, isn't that cute?
That'd be cute.
Put a
for
little red
Christmas.
nose. Put a little red nose on that guy, and there's socks that match. Yeah, there's a lot in here. And then she had it kitted up with 2 skeins of yarn. So these would make like house socks. And this is Briggs and Little Regal 2-ply 100% wool. So it's woolly wool, but
Those
it would make
nice, like slipper socks.
Mm-hmm. So I haven't really taken the chance. I flipped through the book a little bit when I was sitting there, but then I got busy and put it away. So I was gifted that. And next, PA Yarn Quest, we have sold almost all of our 500 passports.
Yes.
And I did stamp quite a few at the show. So people are going to shows and getting them stamped, which is great. We really want people, and you really need to follow the Facebook page. For example, one, I think it's the Shop on Grant. I don't want to misspeak. We just got an email. She's having a hip replacement end of the summer. So she's going to need to be closed for a few weeks. So any pertinent information will go on the website, but then also on Facebook. Like, most of us are, kind of one-man shows, and things happen.
Mm-hmm.
You get sick, you know, vacation, whatever, because I know Tony at Rags is going to be closed first 2 weeks of June-ish. She's going on vacation. I don't really have a vacation plan this year. I don't know what we're doing. We usually go Fair Week. Well, what used to be Fair Week, beginning of August. So that's usually when I go. But all of that, like if there's closures, please, please, please look at the website. I don't want people being disappointed if they travel to a shop, and no one's there. So don't want anybody to just, or call. I believe all of our cell phone numbers are on the website. If you're coming from a distance, please call us. I'll make make sure, like I just met a customer today. Today I'm technically off, but she was going to be here for the weekend. Her plans changed. She has to go back to, where she works. And she came in and shopped a little bit, needed projects for her weekend.
Yeah.
So she lives here, but she has a house in Butler. That's where her job is. So she usually comes home on the weekends, but she's home today and has to go back tonight because construction's happening at her house.
Oh.
So my next show is Harmony. It's Harmony, PA, outside of Pittsburgh-ish. It's at the Weaver's Cabin. There's info on Facebook. not sure they have a web page. I don't know about that, but yeah, I know Tony will not be at that one, but Rebecca and I will be.
Nice.
And I think we're going to take our spinning wheels and sit and spin.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Since it's kind of that kind of show. Usually there's animals. Sometimes they do sharing. There's some demonstrations like spinning, weaving, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a big show this weekend in Wooster, Ohio. But my son gets married next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend. And I just didn't.
Too much.
Yeah, I need to be around. Like, just last minute stuff. And I ordered some things. They came today. Cleaning my house because we'll have house guests, through the wedding. People that don't live here will be. I have one friend and her husband staying in our camper, another one staying in our house. So yeah, we'll have house guests and probably need to do some cooking, baking, that kind of stuff. So I'm not going this weekend, but
I don't think we have anything this weekend. We'll probably be up the dam for breakfast one of these days. Usually my husband's parents and all of their kind of like teacher friends, we usually get together and have breakfast a day around like all the summer holidays. So have eggs and bacon. And
they just do like get a pavilion.
We don't even get a pavilion. Usually like between where like the inlet is there and that little grass there, we'll do just pull some of the tables there.
Cool.
And then usually that's like a fish for free day, usually one of those days. So the kids will bring their fishing rods and sometimes kayaks, depending on how adventurous we feel.
Yeah, and what the weather is. It hasn't been. It's been pretty rainy and cool until this week, and then it was hot. I want to get some things planted this weekend, I think. I have to get my grandson from school at 3, but I may run to the nursery. I want pampas grass. So I tried to go the other day and they were closed, but I may run down today. See what they have. So I think that's about it. Yeah. Happy Memorial Day.
Yes.
2 weeks would be June, beginning of June. Kids get out of school next week.
Yep, the 4th. June 4th.
Okay. So we'll shoot for June 4th. I don't know of anything that I have going on then, but I
don't think I have anything either, and I think we should be good on
your baby appointment rotation. Today's Ashley, she gets off work a little bit early on Thursdays, which is why we try to podcast. So that way we're not here at 9:00 at night.
Yeah. Between soccer and everything.
Soccer, work,
baseball.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Well, have a good 2 weeks, everyone. Happy holiday.
Happy crafting.
Happy crafting.
See you next time.
Bye.